to test the nation, the national relationship test. The moment of truth is upon us. It's results time. And revealing all, will you please welcome your hosts, Anne Robinson and Philip Schofield.
Policemen. Thank you and welcome back this evening. We've been having the most fun you can have on national television without taking your clothes off. The atmosphere here in the studio is fantastic. The single women are very hopeful, nearly as single men. Now, very soon we'll be giving out all the results and we can learn whether our love life is on a par with the Beckhams or the Beals.
If you've been playing interactively or online, you already will have your score. Thanks to our computer boffins, very soon we will know if romance is rife in Rill, if you're goers in Glasgow, or if you're still talking in Torquay. And we have just heard that I think the amount of people who have played online so far is that it's our biggest number ever, over 69,000 people. For playing. Now, don't worry if you haven't been taking part in the test. There is still an awful lot here for you. Now then, we have had some very game groups playing along in the studio, and they are gagging to know how they've done. They're single now, but for how long? It is the single men! And the single women! Will this lot be saying hello, hello, hello to love, or will it just be goodbye, goodbye, goodbye? It's the police! First booze of the night. After this lot get their results, what state will the NHS be in? The National Health Service, this is the nurses' heartstrings. They've been together for over 25 years, but has romance fizzled out, or is the flame of passion still burning strong? It's our Silver Weddings couple! They're together now, but for how long? It is our couple!
Right, I should have been walking more quickly. Right. Duncan, tell us how we score the test.
Right, there are 4 points to each question. 4 is the top score, 1 is the lowest score. There are 10 questions to each section, so the minimum score is 10, the maximum possible score is 40. Now, most people should get about 34.
In each section?
In each section.
We hope. Julia, what are you expecting to see from the results tonight?
Well, I'd have thought that the group that might struggle most of all would be those in about their 30s, because that's the time that people often encounter most change. They've got small children, they're perhaps trying to do well at work, and they're putting a lot of effort into their relationships. So that might be a bit of a dodgy group.
Any predictions for you, Jeremy? What do you think?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you for Julie for summing up my life and what went wrong in my 30s. I'd like to...
It's not all about you tonight.
I know. I'd like to see the Silver Weddings group doing really well.
Are you predicting that they should do best?
Oh, yes, I'm going to go for that.
OK, Philip.
Now, providing the glitz and the glamour, they've been great sports, opening up their hearts to us this evening, letting us delve into their deepest, darkest secrets of their souls. It is, of course, our celebrities! So, Sarah, you have had the opportunity now, you've had about a half an hour to think what went on here this evening. How are you feeling now?
It's kind of hard because I do a lot of these things in magazines. It's kind of, I was having to really concentrate on whether I was actually being honest or not. Hey, boys.
Don't take any notice of them.
Anyway.
You ignore them, you carry on.
But whether you're actually being truly honest or just putting what you think you should. But I think I was really trying to be truly honest.
OK, well, that's good. That's essential. You had to be honest this evening, not answer something you thought you needed to answer, but answer the truth. Gwen, if you were are you a betting lady?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
If you were to bet on any of our groups here this evening, where would your money go? Don't let them influence you. Don't let them influence you. What would your answer be?
My money wouldn't go on the single men. Something else might. I think it would be on the silver weddings, but I'd like the couples to win.
You like the couples to win? Well, we'll see, couples. We'll see. Here's Anne.
Right. This is the moment. It's a bit like the seconds before the lottery numbers are revealed and you're very broke at the time. Each question has 4 possible options worth between 1 and 4 points. No one's expected to score top marks on everything. If you do, I'd like your phone number, please. Keep a note of the scores you get in each section. The top score is 40, the least is 10, and at the end of each section, you'll know if it's a strong or weak area. Right, here goes. The first section was on love. Question 1. Would you tell a partner you love them? 1 point for A. No, never. Oh, no one answered that. 2 points for D. They should just know. 3 points for C. When you felt you wanted to. That's the single women yelling there. 4 points for B. Yes, all the time. They're completely out of hand, this studio audience. Question 2. Should you have to work at a relationship? 1 point for D. If it isn't working, you should leave. That's the single men you can hear there. 2 points for B. No. If it's right, it will work. 3 points for A. Only if there is a problem. 4 points for C. Yes, all relationships need work. The police have woken up now. Question 3. If your work took you away from your partner for a few days, would you? 1 point for D. Forget about them. That's the single men you can hear again. 2 points for A. Be very miserable. 3 points for C. Constantly think about them. And 4 points for B. Miss them, but get on with it. Question 4. Romantic gestures like breakfast in bed are 1 point for B, only important at the beginning. 2 points for A, for special occasions only. 3 points for C, not important in a relationship. 4 points for D, important throughout your relationship. Question 5. What's the most important thing about being in love? 1 point for C, the convenience of it. 2 points, be quiet, single men. 2 points for D, having someone to depend on. 3 points for A, the excitement of it. 4 points for B, sharing your life with someone. Jeremy.
Sorry.
Hello, dear.
Hello, sorry, I was miles away there, Anne.
Ever made breakfast in bed for anyone?
Not recently, but my fridge is often well stocked.
Right, are you looking...
Thank you.
You're looking for someone to make breakfast in bed for?
Am I?
Yes, I think so. Right. Here we go with the scores for questions 6 to 10. We're still in the love section, remember. Question 6. Is it OK to point out your partner's weaknesses? 1 point for D. You should leave it to somebody else. 2 points for A. No, never. 3 points for B. Yes, they need to know. 4 points for C. Only in private. Question 7. Have you ever been jealous in a relationship? 1 point for D. Yes, jealousy has ended one. 2 points for C, it's spoilt one. 3 points for A, no, jealousy is pointless. I'm ignoring them. 4 points for B, everyone gets jealous sometimes. Julia, what happens if you're a naturally jealous person? How do you cope?
Well, it's usually to do with self-confidence. If you're lacking in confidence, you're more likely to be jealous. So what you need to do is to boost your sense of self-confidence.
How do you do that?
Well, you need to praise yourself for the things you do well and minimise the things you don't do so well.
So you need to give yourself a good talking to in the mirror every morning?
Well, why not? Could work.
Exactly. OK. I'm sure the single men do that quite naturally. Question 8. In a relationship, how much affection do you like to be shown? Well, there's 1 point for A. You don't like being fussed over. 2 points for D. You need it constantly. 3 points for B. It depends on where you are. 4 points for C. Enough to know they care. I bet the nurses like being fussed over. In a relationship, the love between you and a partner is 1 point for D. You feel you love them, but you're not in love. 2 points for C. They usually love you more. 3 points for B. You usually love them more. And 4 points for A. It's usually equal. Question 10. Do you believe in love at first sight? 1 point for B. You're beginning to question it. That's the single women giggling there. 2 points for D. It only happens in the movies. 3 points for A, definitely. 4 points for C. You can only fall in love when you know someone. There's a lot of policemen shaking their heads at this point. OK, all you have to do now is add up the individual question scores and you'll get your total between 10 and 40. Philip, how's the leaderboard looking?
Right, let's have a look for the first time this evening. This is, of course, the greatest relationship test ever undertaken in this country. So we can see that at the bottom... shout about there. Silver Weddings with 36. I think they're disappointed with that. The Silver Weddings are a little disappointed with that. Celebrities on 37. Next on the board we have the Nurses at 37. Which means that right at the top we have the couple. So the couples, nurses and celebrities all at the moment sharing 37. Let's have a word with the couples. Let's have a word with the couples. Okay. So what's been the secret so far in this group? Why are you leading this leaderboard?
Because we could prove that we know how to do it, Philip.
You've proved you know how to do it.
We're all still together.
And what sort of a bloke are you? Are you a sensitive man? Are you a lover?
I'm a lover and sensitive man.
A lover and you're sensitive.
I'm everything she wants me to be.
And is that
Absolutely.
right? So what about partners? Most important thing in a partner. Most important relationship success.
Trust.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, trust and love.
This leaderboard, of course, could change at any time. Annie to the expert.
Okay. Can the mystery of love be explained? What does it mean being in love? Duncan?
Well, I think it varies for different people. For some people, it's just a warm feeling, and for others, it's really sort of hot passion.
OK. Julia, we've touched on romance. Why are romantic gestures important?
Well, because they're affection, and affection is like oil that you drop on the wheels of your relationship. It will keep it turning, even through difficult times. If you can be affectionate, so a word of praise or a hug, or, you know, sorry you're feeling not so good, or a cup of tea at the right moment.
What happens if you're married or with somebody who's not ever been brought up to show affection?
Well, that can be really difficult because for most people, although you can get by without it for some of the time, there will be crucial moments when you need someone to put their arm around you, to comfort you, to care for you. And if you never have that, then it's very difficult to know that the other person really cares for you. If nobody tells you that they love you, how do you know?
Well, how do you encourage them to say it?
Well, you need to actually say how important it is to you. So you need to say, please tell me that you love me sometimes because I need to hear it. They may find it difficult, but actually it's important to you.
Jeremy, do you get jealous in a relationship?
I have done. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I have done, and it's a horrible feeling. And anybody who says that they're not jealous, I wouldn't really believe them. It's, you know, it's the extent to which you get jealous. But the thing about jealousy is it can be all-consuming, and it can make you behave in the most peculiar, most irrational way. But to actually admit to your partner, look, such and such a behaviour does make me jealous, I think that's the first step to actually dealing with it.
Actually admit it.
Absolutely.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much indeed.
Celebs, I ought to warn you at this stage that you guys leading the leaderboard is never popular in here. No, they don't like... You know that. Adam's been here before. He knows that. Nadia, so I would have thought that the nature of being a celebrity and being sort of all consumed with what you were doing would actually probably disadvantage you in a relationship.
Well, I don't know whether it's anything to do with that, but, I mean, being busy, I mean, it's the same for everybody. My husband's in the same business, so we do spend a lot of time working away from home, and it is really hard. In fact, that's what we row about most, is not seeing each other.
Right.
But you just have to make the effort. I mean, our phone bills are frightening.
How often do you phone? How often do you text?
Oh, at least 15 times a day.
James, have you mastered this sort of texting business?
No, I can vaguely, but happily we have a big IT department at Trinity Mirror that can cope with it for me.
So you get someone else to do your texting?
Yeah. I need it. But I find the telephone's rather better anyway.
You'd much prefer the telephone. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And now here with our next category, being together.
I think James is grander than the royal family. OK, our next section is being together, in love or not. Question 11. When you think about being in a relationship, do you feel that 1 point for B, there is no way out? 2 points for C, you don't expect it to last. 3 points... Just ignoring them. 3 points for D, it'll last as long as you're both happy. That's nice. 4 points for A, you will always be together. The nurses like that one. Question 12. In a relationship, do you have a lot to talk about? 1 point for A, you have to find things to say. 2 points for B, there's more to say at the beginning. 3 points for D, you always have something to say. And 4 points for C, you're comfortable saying nothing. I'm so glad the policemen are comfortable saying nothing. If there was a major decision to be made, would you, 1 point for C, always get your own way? 2 points for A, let your partner decide. 3 points for D, always argue it out. And 4 points for B, discuss the options together. Now, Julia, my husband says the fastest way to get your own way is to compromise.
Well, that might be one way to do it.
It's just crafty, isn't it?
It is crafty. What you need to do in any discussion or even an argument is to look for win-win solutions. The problem is when people try to win and beat their partner and come out on top. But if you can both find a way to get something of what you want from the agreement or the discussion, then you will have a much better and stronger relationship.
Do you have to let go of the idea of being right, then, in that case?
Yes. Being right isn't always the best thing.
No.
It's better to be happy than to be right.
Yeah. It's more fun to be right, though. Question 14. How important is it to be together on special occasions? Now, 1 point for C. It would depend on your partner's opinion. 2 points for D. It doesn't matter either way. 3 points for A. You should make an effort. 4 points for B. It wouldn't be the same without your partner. There's quiet agreement over in the couples there. Question 15. If you and your partner like different holidays, would you? 1 point for C. Always get your own way. 2 points for A. Go on separate holidays. 3 points for B. Always let them choose. And 4 points for D. Take turns to choose where you go. Jeremy, what's wrong with a holiday on your own?
Absolutely nothing, Anne. I'm sure you've had a few, have you? Do you go on holiday?
Right. Just a reminder that there are no right or wrong answers. Don't be downhearted about your score. It's all about what works best for you. Question 16. When it comes to household chores, should you, 1 point for D, leave them to the other person? 2 points for B, do them all yourself. 3 points for A, share them equally. And 4 points for C, each do what you can. Julia, the problem often is that one person's reality about what is half the work is not the same as the other partner's, is it?
No, that's a real problem. And in fact, people often attach value to something. So, for instance, they might work all week and then do the shopping on a Saturday morning and think that that's really good. Their partner will say, oh, that's wonderful you did that. But of course their partner thinks, but they haven't done half of what needs doing. So what you've got to do is to talk together about how you're going to manage the chores.
And do you have to give them values then to convince a partner that they're not doing their share?
You might do, but you can actually do trade-offs. So the things you hate, perhaps your partner would take on, or you'll do some for them that they don't like. And then you can end up in a situation where you've actually got some equality. Because still, I'm afraid to say, statistics show that women still do 75% of all the domestic chores.
Is it not true that's because they go and offer to do it and don't let go and let their partners do it?
Yeah, I think sometimes women establish a little sort of queendom and they don't want their partner to do things, and in fact will say, well, I don't want him to do it because he doesn't do it as well as me.
Just let him do it. Question 17. How much free time should be spent with a partner? 1 point for A, none of it. 2 points for D, equally between your partner and others. 3 points for B, as much as possible. And 4 points for C, most of it, but you do need time to yourself. Question 18. How should you arrange your finances? Come on, listen carefully. You can learn from the silver wedding people here because they're looking quite relaxed. 1 point for D, we don't discuss money. 2 points for B, separate accounts. 3 points for C, both joint and separate accounts. And 4 points for A, a joint account. Don't think there's many joint accounts between the policemen over there. Question 19. Should you always tell a partner where you are? 1 point for D. It's not important for them to know. 2 points for B, only if they needed to know. 3 points for C, sometimes. And 4 points for A, yes, you wouldn't like them to worry. Question 20. Here's a very interesting one. How much should you tell your partner about yourself? 1 point for B, as little as possible. 2 points for C, only the things that won't upset them. 3 points for A, everything. 4 points for D, most things. OK? those were the scores for being together. Don't forget to add them up, and then you'll get a total out of 40. Philip, what's the news?
Right, let's have a look at our leaderboard now, see whether or not that's changed. Air of tension. Single man down the bottom! They're gutted! They're completely gutted! Followed by... Oh, the single women! With 69 stars, single men and single women down at the bottom of our love board. The police at 70. Followed by... the nurses with 72. We have... the silver weddings are also on 72. The couples on 72. Which means that the celebrities are 74. Oh my God. I knew it would get ugly. I promise you, there's no fix. See? I know, I told you it was going to get ugly, didn't I? Gwen, what about the finances in your family?
Finances, I'm terribly worried about money, and my husband isn't at all. And I often find that when we have a row, the basis is that, even though the row's about something, exactly what Julia said, even though the row's about something else, it's usually because of my insecurity about money and his complete lack of worrying about it.
So he doesn't worry about it because, well, he just spends it all over the place?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't think too much about the future, and I think only of the future. So it's a bit of a clash there, although we do balance each other out in the end. So my caring about it balances his profligacy.
John, have you ever portrayed Prince Charles as a loving character?
I don't know about that. Spitting Image was normally a bit more cruel than that, but I suppose you could do. You know, you can imagine him sort of in the act and sort of, you know, James watching through a wardrobe, you know, reporting on everything. But normally his voice is actually, you know, if you sort of do his familiar tone and then drop it a bit, he goes sort of Barry White.
Who is it? I mean, is this collective, or is this one person that's lifting you up in the lead here?
I honestly thought I dragged us right down, but we're still doing all right. No, I think we've all learnt how to compromise and how to run busy lives and have relationships. That's why we're top of the pile.
How very diplomatic. Hands with the experts.
Duncan, give us a figure people should be looking at for their score by now.
Right, if you're just looking at this section, it should be about 34.
34, good.
But if you're doing
OK.
both sections together, it should be about 68. So most people are doing very well.
Good, thank you. Jeremy, do you find you're dating girls and they've got more money than you?
Usually they have, yes.
Really?
Yes, indeed.
And how do you cope with that?
I borrow some from them.
And if you're out on a date, who picks up the tab?
Always them.
Right, you'd never go out with me.
Thank you.
Money's the big problem, isn't it?
It is. It's the one that most people argue about. And, of course, it's got a sort of symbolic value in lots of relationships. So if you're very secretive about money, maybe you don't want to invest your emotions either.
What about if you've got a spendthrift husband or a spendthrift wife?
Well, you've got to tackle that. And it might mean cutting up credit cards. It might mean tackling the bank manager. You've got to put a stop to it, because otherwise you will end up very unhappy and very poor.
OK. Thank you very much, Julia. Right, where are we? Now, this is the Test the Nation, the National Relationship Test, helping to steer your relationships into calm, clear waters. Hopefully, we're going to move on now to differences. Your partner has a habit you don't like. Now, let's see, have I got a camera? I have now. 1 point for A, get them to stop it. 2 points for D, find it easy to ignore. 3 points for C, try not to let it irritate you. And 4 points for B, tell them it irritates you. Question 22, if there were problems in a relationship, would you? 1 point for D, try to work them out by yourself. 2 points for B, hope they go away. 3 points for C, talk to someone else about them. 4 points for A, try to discuss them together. Thank you, nurses. Question 23, if you disagreed over something, would you? 1 point for A, avoid discussing it. 2 points for C, end up agreeing with your partner, cowards. 3 points for D, refuse to change what you thought, brave. 4 points for B, try to compromise. Question Question 24. Is rowing good for a relationship? 1 point for A. Yes, rows are vital. 2 points for D. They're the death of a relationship. 3 points for B. Rows are a good way to resolve differences. And 4 points for C. They're not necessarily bad. Gwen, have the sort of rows you've had changed over the years?
No, well, I think what happens is, what happens after a long relationship is you think you know somebody really, really well. So you always know what they're going to say, and then they surprise you because something's happened in their life. And I don't think you're prepared for it, and I think sometimes that triggers things off. When you feel a bit cheated because you thought that person was going to think a certain way. And we have rows now about politics, because he thinks very differently about the war.
I think that probably happens in a lot of homes. Thank you, Gwen. Question 25. Is it important to get on with your partner's family? 1 point for D. No, it makes no difference at all. 2 points for A. Yes, harmony is everything. 3 points for B. Yes, things could be difficult if you didn't. And 4 points for C. It's not important, but it would be preferable. James, did you have to learn to love any of Mrs. Whittaker's relatives?
No, I didn't. It sounds a cliche on this, but I actually get on terribly well with my in-laws. I always did. I find them civilised people. I enjoy being with them. The only thing that irritates me is that my mother-in-law is a quite brilliant bridge player.
He's going to score so high. Carrying on with differences. Question 26. If you and your partner had a major row, would you? 1 point for D, hold a grudge. 2 points for C, pretend it never happened. 3 points for A, find it hard to let it go. And 4 points for B, resolve it and put it behind you. Question 27. If you and your partner had different political opinions, would you? 1 point for C, end up shouting at them, Gwen. 2 points for B, feel irritated about their beliefs. 3 points for A, discuss them calmly. And 4 points for D, respect their point of view. The policemen are now looking very worried. Question 28. You're in a serious relationship and the subject of children comes up. Should you? 1 point for B, not discuss it. 2 points for D. It may be too early to tell if you want children together. 3 points for C. Not worry if you differ, things can change. And 4 points for A. Make sure you're in agreement. Question 29. Your relationship is going through a bad patch. Who would you rather be with? 1 point for B, a close relative. 2 points for C, friends. 3 points... That's the wrong answer. 3 points for D, yourself. 4 points for A, with your partner trying to sort it out. Question 30. When you feel angry with a partner, do you? 1 point for B, fly off the handle. 2 points for C, try to hide it. 3 points for A, sulk like Jeremy does. 4 points for D, express it openly. And that is the end of the differences section.
Right, let's see if there is any difference now on our leaderboard. And languishing in bottom place with the single women. Are they sharing that bottom place? Yes, they are with the single men. Next, we have the police at 106. Not a popular choice. The celebrities at 107. Knocked down from the top slot. Actually, you're looking quite relieved. Adam is now very relieved. And next we've the nurses at 107. And we have the silver weddings at 108. And we've the couples at 109. Right, let's have a chat with our single men over here. Let's go. What makes me laugh about the single men? If you watch them during this this result, they're all going, question, oh yes, 4 points, yes, very good, very good. None of you have given those as answers. You're at the bottom. Why? why are you at the bottom here? Why are you single? What's happening here?
Good question. I have no idea.
Is everyone else dragging this down? I mean, are you doing well?
I'm getting them all right every time.
What about the single women over here? This lady here, but you aren't planning to have a relationship until you're damn good and ready, are you?
That's true.
What have you decided?
I decided to rent out my room.
You're going to rent out the room?
Yes.
So rather than have a partner, you're just going to get money out of the spare room? Is there any wonder that you're at the bottom of this leader chart?
Joint bottom.
Joint bottom.
Yeah.
Joint bottom, gentlemen, joint bottom. Hands with the service.
Adam, are you better than Ian Beale at sorting out differences?
Well, I'll tell you what, spookily, me and Hannah, we've been answering the same for all the questions.
It's really scary, actually.
Hannah, do you think women are better at solving problems?
Shut up.
Just behave, single.
Yeah, I think women maybe look at the bigger picture sometimes, and well, men are kind of the problem solvers, but women look at more aspects of it, maybe.
Of course they do, Hannah. John, what do you think Dale Winter does when he comes across a problem?
I don't know, he'd probably be quite laid back and make the situation quite easy. He'd go off, have a chat with Thriller, have a fag, come back, and everything would be lovely. You know, it's all like that.
Pierce Brosnan, I don't know, probably just be quiet and, you know, just look up until he got his own way, you know? And that's about it.
So, Julia, what advice would you give, Julia, to people whose relationships may be going through a bad patch?
We have to look back, really, and see perhaps what started it. So maybe you've been through something very difficult together. Perhaps you've been through a bereavement or a job loss, or maybe one of you has been very worried about something. So go back and look and think about what was at the root of it, what was the problem that started it, and then talk carefully about what you're feeling and listen to what your partner has to say very carefully as well. And I would advise people not to do the kind of all-nighter session where you sit up all night and you try and talk and you go around in circles. It doesn't get you anywhere. You need to do it in small pieces, so perhaps an hour at a time. Break, have a cup of tea, sit down, think about what you've heard. Otherwise, you're exhausted and you don't get anywhere.
Because invariably, I don't know whether any of our teams here have done it, but you would maybe sit up with a couple of bottles of wine.
Yes.
And try and talk the night away. That doesn't work.
No, really a bad idea, because alcohol is, you know, breaks your inhibitions down. Then you end up insulting one another, saying things you regret, and the relationship slides down rather than goes up.
Everyone has bad habits. How do you cope with bad habits?
Well, I mean, unless you're told it's a bad habit, how do you know that you're actually upsetting somebody? So I think the important thing is to be honest and say what it is that is annoying you about that particular bad habit. I mean, I can be sometimes a bit untidy. You know, how it makes you feel, and so that your partner actually realises that there's something that in their behaviour that annoys or irritates you. It's a matter of being honest, isn't it?
There is a bad habits chart, isn't there? What tops the chart?
Untidiness.
There you are, see?
Yep.
Untidiness.
Dirty socks on the floor, shoes left littered about. But actually, untidiness is really about territory. It's about people establishing their little territories around the home. And if you've got to do that a lot, maybe you're a bit scared about letting your partner into your life in some way.
All right. Anne has a territory. She's standing in it right now, and it's her turn.
Don't you dare come near this, Philip. I'm not really scary. We move on now to the results for Section 4, which is support. Eyes down, everyone. Here we go. Question 31. When do you usually buy presents for a partner? 1 point for C, never. 2 points for D, after upsetting them. 3 points for A, only on special occasions, and 4 points for B if you saw something they'd like. Question 32. When you think about a partner, should you? 1 point for C, want to change them. 2 points for B, wish they were more like you. 3 points for A, try to be more like them. And 4 points for D, accept them just as they are. Question 33. You arrange to go out with a friend, but your partner goes down with flu. Would you? 1 point for D, refuse to let it ruin your plans. 2 points for C, go but leave early. 3 points for A, go anyway but call regularly. And 4 points for B, stay in and look after them. What do the nurses think? I'd like to know what you do when you find the husband has become a great big baby just when he doesn't feel well, just a tiny bit. They never have a cold, they always have flu. Question 34. Something outside your relationship has upset your partner. Would you? 1 point for D, change the subject. 2 points for B, suggest they talk to someone else. 3 points for C, reassure them. And 4 points for A, listen and try to help. Question 35. You should know what a partner is thinking. 1 point for B, because you should always think the same. 2 points for D. No, you're not a mind reader. 3 points for A. You should know just by looking at them. And 4 points for C. You should know by asking them. Jeremy, are you a good mind reader?
No, not very good at all. And I prefer to talk to people when I'm not sulking and you know, find out exactly what it is that the issue is so that we can deal with it. Put a line under it, move on.
What's your eyesight like?
Sorry?
What? Oh, no, don't worry about me. I'm just seeing if you're able to see.
It's very good, Anne.
Isn't
Thank
it?
you.
Aren't they lovely?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
He is available. 5 more scores to give you in the support section, starting with question 36. Is it important to trust your partner? Only 1 point for D. Only as far as you can throw them. 2 points for A. No, you can't trust anyone. 3 points for B. Yes, you should always trust them. And 4 points for C. Trust should be mutual. Question 37. Your partner meets up with an ex and is late home. Would you? 1 point for A. Do nothing but convince yourself they're up to something. 2 points for B. Lock them out. 3 points for D. Call and ask for an explanation. And 4 points for C. Trust them. Question 38. Is it essential to try to understand a partner's feeling? Well, you get 1 point for B. No, you shouldn't even try. 2 points for C, only if they tell you what they are. 3 points for D, you should try. And 4 points for A, yes, at all times. Question 39. You and your partner go out with friends. Would you? 1 point for A, worry about your partner's behaviour. 2 points for B, worry no one will like them. 3 points for C, let them look after themselves. And 4 points for D, make sure they're okay. Question 40, your partner gets a promotion at work. Would you be? 1 point for B, jealous. 2 points for C, indifferent. 3 points for D, spending the money already. Policemen are clapping there. 4 points for A, supportive. That's it for support. Philip, anyone been promoted up there?
Yeah, well, let's have a look, actually. We love the fact that the single men are doing so badly. They're now applauding the fact that they're doing badly. They're applauding the most controversial answers. Let's see whether the leaderboard has changed. And we have the single women... 137, followed by... Well, there's a surprise. Single men, single women now joint bottom. We have 141 for the nurses. We've got the police at 141. up the board. At 143, it's the celebrities. Beginning to claw your way back a little bit there, but that's a good place to be. That position is a good place to be. 144 for the silver weddings, which means that right at the top there, we have the couples at 145. Let's go see our silver wedding team over here. We've not spoken to them for a while. The single men seem to be really very happy in the fact that they're doing badly here. Do you have any advice? Obviously, as you've all been married for 25 years or over, so what advice would you give them? Why are they sitting there all sad and lonely?
Well, they are the problem, aren't they? It's men.
How would you answer that as a gentleman?
I'm not really sure, actually.
Why do you think you guys are doing so well? What is it about your relationship?
Trust, I think, and...
That's come up a few times this evening.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
That's this gentleman over here, Cecily?
Sharing.
What did you say?
You have to work at any relationship.
Who said sharing?
I did.
You said sharing?
I think so, yes. I think you should share things, and that gives you a reason to want to be successful, to share it with someone.
And does he share everything with you?
Everything, yes.
Yeah?
The good and the bad.
Does he? we had bank accounts came up earlier on, talking about sort of single bank accounts, joint bank accounts. What have you got?
Joint.
Have you?
Yeah.
Trust her with the money?
Certainly.
Yeah? You're 1 point away from the couples. Just 1 point away. Can you beat them? Yeah! There's the battle on who's going to win between the couples and the silver wedding. Next section. And first of all, with the experts.
Duncan, what are we looking for in the results now at this stage?
Well, I think at this stage we can start looking at how we're doing in the different sections, because we've got 4 sections now. And on each section you should be getting something like 34. So if you're below that, you're doing less well. If you're above that, you're doing all right.
Julia, tell me, thank you. Julia, can you tell me about when there's been a betrayal? How long do you think it takes for a relationship to sort itself out?
It takes much longer than people usually imagine. So if you try to sweep it under the carpet and pretend nothing has happened, then unfortunately, eventually you'll trip over the bump in the carpet. It will come back to bite you. So you need to sort it out. But it can take up to a year, really, to recover from a very serious betrayal. And the person who's done the betraying has actually got to keep their promises. If they say that they're going to break off with the person they've been having the affair with, if they say that they're committed to the relationship, then they've got to do that.
What if the partner that's suffered this betrayal, they want every detail?
Yes.
Is that understandable?
Well, a good rule of thumb here, it is understandable,
Yeah.
but a good rule of thumb here is to ask the questions that you can bear to hear the answers to. And at first, there will be some that you think you can ask and others that you're not quite sure about. But as the months go by, gradually you will gain more confidence and you will get answers to your questions. But it takes a long time to really reach that point.
Thank you, Juliet. The X Factor. What do you do about that?
I mean, if you've been dumped by somebody who you really have very strong emotions for, it's an incredibly difficult experience to go. It's like a bereavement. It can, isn't it? It's just like a bereavement.
Yes, it's got stages like bereavement.
And you have to acknowledge that it's a very painful process that you're going through, but you have to...
It takes time.
And it takes a lot of time, and you've got to accept it's over, and that can be difficult.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Adam, have you... what were you doing there?
Fighting.
What exactly were you doing then?
No, I'm fighting. Don't tell her.
It was a bit of skin Hannah had just picked off her finger and she was dumping it on me.
You can only do that if you have been married.
I can't believe that you just
did it. Leave her alone, for God's sake. What is there one thing in your relationship that irritates your wife, your partner?
Yes, considering what I do for a living and I rely on having to remember lines, I can manage to forget the most incredibly simple thing, like making sure the kids get out of the car, go to school with their coats on.
What about the fact that we know that you are, and we've sort of found out through our very careful research, you're a very punctual person. You don't like being late.
No, I don't like being late.
And how does that reflect your relationship at home?
Well, the other week the sat-nav had packed up in my car and there'd been a crash on the M1 and I phoned my wife and she directed me for an hour and a half from junction 15 to junction 14 through the back lanes of Bedfordshire to get me to work on time.
Because you don't like being late? Was she happy to do that, or was she irritated?
No, she was fine to do it, but I really had to trust her because she's lousy at reading maps.
Well, we're in the home straight. 10 more results to give out, and then you can go and pour yourself a large aphrodisiac. The last section was intimacy. Now, these questions were based on imaginary dilemmas or scenarios. Here we go with question 41. In a relationship, how do you feel about making the first physical move? 1 point for D, unwilling to do anything about it. 2 points for A, embarrassed. 3 points for C, confident. And 4 points for B, comfortable. Question 42. Do you like being hugged by your partner? 1 point for D, no. 2 points for C, you quickly tire. 3 points for B, sometimes. And 4 points for A, yes, very much so. Question 43. If you wanted to be physically intimate, you'd expect a partner to 1 point for D, go along, even if reluctant. 2 points for A, always be willing. 3 points for C. Refuse if they don't want to, and 4 points for B, usually feel the same way. Question 44. How important is sex in a relationship? 1 point for C, not at all. 2 points for A, very. 3 points for B, quite. And 4 points for D, it's important that you both feel the same way. Julia? That's up there as a big problem area, isn't it?
It certainly is. Sex is the one that lots of people have difficulties with, and I think that's because they think that perhaps everybody else is having more fun than them, and most people, I think, should rely on what makes them happy and worry less about what everybody else is doing.
Thank you. Stop worrying, single men, if you're not having enough sex. Question 45. Should you find a partner physically attractive? Well, 1 point for D. You're not. You can't expect them to be. 2 points for C. Attractiveness isn't important. 3 points for A. Yes, it's a priority. 4 points for B. Yes, even if others don't. Just 5 more questions to go before you'll all have your results, and you'll find out what the picture looks like nationwide. For example, is there a north-south love divide? Are men happier than women? Does satisfaction increase with age? Perhaps the Channel Tunnel has let in some of that European passion. We obviously don't think so, do we, single women? Here goes the last 5 results for intimacy and the last 5 results for the test. Question 46. Someone starts flirting with your partner, do you? 1 point for A. Not let it bother you. 2 points for B. Flirt with someone else yourself. 3 points for D. Become angry with your partner. And 4 points for C. Trust your partner not to let it get out of hand. Some very glum policemen over there. I can't think why. Question 47. Should your sex drive be the same as a partner's? 1 point for D. It really doesn't matter. 2 points for D. Yes, definitely. 3 points for C. No. 4 points for A. It's not a priority. Question 46. You find out your partner has secretly been seeing someone. Would you? 1 point for C, ignore it. 2 points for D, go and do the same. 3 points for B, stay, but they'll need to work and regain your trust. And 4 points for A, end your relationship. Question 49. How do you expect the physical side of your relationship to change long term? You wouldn't know, single men. 1 point for A, it'll lessen. 2 points for D, it'll stay the same. 3 points for B, it'll get better. Yes, long-term marriage there? They're not so sure. 4 points for C, it'll have its ups and downs. And the last question, question 50. On a scale of 1 to 10, how passionate should a relationship be? Now, this is interesting scores for this. 1 point for D, 1 to 3. 2 points for C, 4 to 6. 3 points for A, a perfect 10. Yes, but you see 4 points for B, which is 7 to 9. And that is it. You've completed the test. Well done, everyone. And very soon you'll know if you're a romantic dreamer or a romantic nightmare. The highest score you can get overall is 200, and the lowest is 50.
Our single... well done, everyone. Our single men here are still reeling from the fact that sex apparently is not a priority. It's unbelievable. Very soon we'll be telling you how the nation did, which of the 4 home countries you should be moving to if you're looking for love, guys. What about age? Is romance alive and well amongst our pensioners, or are the young having all the fun? At this stage, we already know the city in the United Kingdom who has come out on top of our relationship survey. We're hoping to find that piece of information for you. You will find out if you live there in a couple of minutes.
Julia, tell us how we talk about sex if it's something that embarrasses us.
Well, lots of people do find it really embarrassing. Lots of people don't talk about sex very much. What you need to do is not to talk about it right in the middle of lovemaking, because that can cause all sorts of trouble, especially if you're going to be critical. So pick a time when you can actually talk to your partner about how important it is to you, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, and also, I would say, use some very useful noises. You can say and you can say if you're enjoying it, and that will give them a clue as to what to do next.
If you're shy, how do you make the first move?
You listen to the noises.
Final scores.
Right, I think we're looking for an average score of about 170. If you've got above that, you're doing very well.
OK. Let's have a look. OK, 50 to 80. If you've got that, you, I'm afraid, are a loser in love. Your behaviour leaves a lot to be desired. 81 to 110, you're still a lonely heart. You need to stop and think before you act. 111 to 150, you're a lukewarm lover. Your actions aren't always appropriate. 151 to 180, you're lucky in love. You have a healthy approach to relationships. And 181 to 200, an ace of hearts. You shine in romantic relationships. How about that? Julia, what would you say to people who've got a miserable score between 50 and 100?
Oh, I think perhaps they need to think about what they want from their relationship, because what they're doing is trying to guess, I would think. So they need to actually get in touch with reality.
Duncan, what would you think is a good score? What would you expect people to get?
Well, I'm expecting people to get something like 170. It looks as if we've got in the studio here people who are doing very well.
Good, thank you. Right, over to the celebs. Are we quietly confident, Hannah?
Yes, I think I've beaten him. I think I've beaten him by 2.
And you're still speaking, you two?
I might.
I don't know how they work together. It's obviously not difficult to be the bickering Beals at all. James, are you expecting any surprises this evening?
Not really. I think this is a pretty adjusted lot here, actually.
Yeah. And how about yourself, dear? Do you think you're
no,
very...
I think I'm OK.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you'll come
I'm
well
not
up?
smugly complacent, but I'm reasonably confident.
Right. I mean, you really should be top of the form, shouldn't you? 38 years
I should
married.
be right up at the top, yes.
Yes. And you are very happily married, aren't you?
I am very happily married,
Good.
yes.
OK, Philip, over to you.
Right, we're almost ready to reveal the results. I can tell you that the final figure for the people who have played on the web is 75,000. The biggest we've ever had. OK, everyone, hold on to your love handles. The results are in. of all take a look at our nations, the UK as a whole. We have Northern Ireland came in at 168. Next up on our love chart is Wales at 169, followed by England at 170 and Scotland at 170. So there's no north-south divide there. Scotland and England equally loved up. Right, OK, working hours. So does it affect the amount of hours that you actually work? According to a report by the Institute of Personnel and Development, approximately 1 million people work more than 60 hours a week because they want to. That's 1 in 3 people who work over 48 hours a week claim to be addicted to work. So does the amount that you work affect your relationship? Right, working hours. 0 to 20 hours a week, 169. 21 to 40 hours a week, 171, tying with 41 to 60. If you work over 60 hours a week, you get 163, and it does affect your relationship. Julia, is that what you expect?
Yes, it is. If you work very long hours, then you've got less time for your partner, and you probably don't know them very well.
All right, let's have a look at our star signs now, a little more light-hearted. So we have, putting the results up now, Taurus at 170, Gemini 171, Cancer 170, Leo 170, Virgo 170. Look at this, they're all about the same. 170 for Libra, 170 for Scorpio and Sagittarius and Capricorn and Aquarius and Pisces, with 169 for Aries. Now, Scorpios are supposed to be the sexiest sign because they need to love and be loved. Taurians take relationships seriously and make reliable partners, not proved by that. But the Librans, who came out top, are terrible flirts. Well done, Librans. You lead the board. Right, now let's have a look at age. Does your age affect the way you work in a relationship, the way your relationship works? OK, let's start with the 16 to 24s. 169 is the top point there for the 16 to 24s. 25 to 34s, 172. Single men are pleased with that. 35 to 49, it goes down to 171. 50 to 70, we've got 170. And the over 70s, that is 135. Actually, Julia, I'm really rather surprised by that, Julia, because you would think perhaps that would be higher because they've been together longer. They know each other better.
Yes, that is true, but sometimes older people perhaps have lived through a generation where you didn't talk very much about your feelings. You kept a stiff upper lip and you put up with what you had, but nowadays we don't do that so much.
All right, now then, bearing in mind that these scores are out of 200, this is the average score of the people who played on the web. Right, let's find out. This is always the one that gets the roof rocking and the dust coming out of the ceiling. It is men versus women. Here we go, men versus women. Who are best in a relationship? And we have 170 to the men. 171 to the female. Thank God it was close. Thank goodness it was close. No big surprises there, Anne. Well, interesting scores. I can tell you that online, the top scorer got 194. 3 other people got that. That's unbelievable, isn't it? 3 other people got that. The computer's chosen one of those randomly. Hopefully, they are on the line now, and I hope it's Helen McPherson. Hello, Helen.
Hello there.
Hello. Well done. 194 is unbelievable.
Thank you.
So, tell me about your... Bit severe there, Helen. Tell me about your relationship, Helen. How long have you been married?
Been married 37 years now to Ron.
And what's he called?
Ron.
Ron. Good evening, Ron. Has he been doing his score as well?
No, he's been watching golf tonight.
And is it the fact that Ron has been watching golf and you've happily been watching the telly? Is that what makes your relationship work?
I think it is, yes.
What is it that irritates you about him?
Watching just too much golf, perhaps.
And what is it do you think annoys Ron about you?
I'm a sleepyhead.
You're a sleepyhead?
Yes.
No, you're not. Look at this, it's
Not
10 past
tonight,
12. Listen, congratulations, well done. 194 is a terrific score. Brilliant.
Thank you.
And of course, course, the other people who got that as well. So that's our web winner. There are 308 people in the studio, every single one of them expecting to be a winner, except not over there with the single monocle. Let's now reveal our winning studio group. I doubt there'll be any big surprises down the bottom. Single winner, 169. We have 170 in the single men. So they managed to grasp just a little victory there from the ladies. They're happy with that. The police at 173. Well done to our police force. And next we have our celebrities at 175. We now have the nurses at 175. Next on our board, our love board, the silver weddings at 177. Which means that our winning group are the couples. 178 for the couples. Let's get out a word with them. Well done. Our newlyweds, of course, who we met right at the very beginning of the evening. You are in the winning group.
Excellent.
How do you feel? Excited? Maybe. Just a little, please.
Sleepy.
Sleepy?
Yeah.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. And what about up here? We haven't had a word with you. You are now in the winning group. Did you ever expect anything different?
No.
No?
No. I expected to be in the winning group.
You did?
Yes.
Of course. Now then, we do know that there is an individual, one person in this studio who has won. I can tell you that the person who has won with an overall score of 193 is not in the couples. Amazingly, is not in the single men. Is also not in the single women. And not in the police. So it's either the nurses or the silver weddings. It's not in the nurses, I'm afraid. The winner is in the silver weddings with a score of 193. You are our winner in the studio. You get your trophy. You are Rose Southern. Well done, Rose. There's your trophy, Rose. What is it that makes your relationship such a success?
It's loving him for his faults as much as his fun.
I don't have any faults. I don't have any faults.
Don't start arguing now. Round of applause for our winner. Well done. Well done.
Well done over there. OK, celebs, I've got your individual scores. Adam, you're always very competitive on these shows.
You can't be competitive on this one.
You are always competitive,
All right,
Adam.
and I'm trying to give it up for
Do you
them.
want me to tell you your
Yes, please.
Your individual score was 179.
Ooh. And you've beaten me.
How long have you been married?
Coming up 5 years.
Good. Hannah, you're in a relationship?
I am.
A new relationship?
No, I've been there 3 years.
3 years, good. Your score, do you want it?
Go on.
178. Sarah, would you like your score?
OK.
174.
Oh, that's quite poor.
Nadia, would you like your score?
Yes, go on.
It is 165.
Oh, that's terrible.
Trevor, would you like your score?
Love my score.
174. James Whittaker, who's been married 38 years. Would you like your score?
I don't think I have a choice.
I'd just like to know, James, you're completely bottom of the celebrities. You scored 162. John, would you like your score?
Yeah.
183. Gwen, would you like your score?
Yes.
Well, you're joint top with John, 183. Well done. Congratulations. for this, but there is your trophy between you. You'll have to have it for 6 months each and swap over. Congratulations.
I promised you that I would tell you which was the most loved up city in the UK. The most loved up city is Plymouth with 171. Well done, Plymouth. So it has been a hugely enjoyable and fascinating night. The test is available online for the next couple of weeks and on CFAX page 620.
And all that remains is for me to thank our fantastic studio groups. We've had a great relationship with you tonight. So thank you to our single men, our single women, the police, the nurses, the silver wedding couples, and our couples. And not forgetting our 3 experts who tonight have been acting as therapists to the whole nation.
And, of course, our celebrities, they've opened up their hearts to us and been great sports tonight. All I can say is the night is still young. Plenty of time for romance.
Not for some of us. Thank you to everyone at home for taking part. We'll see you again soon, sooner than you think. National IQ 2003 coming up shortly. Good night.
Good night.